What's up? Pittsburgh Weiss
Gamers.
Schwarz. Back again. No, not gamers. Gen 3. Best gen. Maureen's in this one.
Gen 0.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Tanner. We're going to get right into it. Andy, go ahead. It's not a brainstorm. Go ahead.
All right, we got this flare. She's not a brainstorm. All your other Noel Cards, horizontal peace sign, gain 500 power, and at the start of your opponent's attack step, you can pay 1. Choose one of your Hololive characters in this, stand and swap them. And this discard bonds to either the Noel or that's the Rushia finisher, right?
The Rushia finisher.
Yeah, the Rushia.
It just bonds to the Rushia. The other card doesn't exist.
Yeah, that 1/1 is really fucking bad. This is a bonder to the Rushia.
Is this a card that people play to bond to only?
No, no, this card's ass.
Okay,
Absolute
yeah,
shit.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, bad, bad card. We can just go to the next one. This card's not very good.
Yeah, the way you were talking sounded like maybe people were playing this.
Nope.
Why?
I was just trying to be positive. Next card,
All right.
Brian.
We've got this Maureen, level 0, 1500 power. When this card is placed from the stage to the waiting room, you can pay 1, clock the top card of your deck. If you do look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, take a character and put the rest into waiting room.
Oh, essential card. We love Maureen cards. It's a clock plus.
What the hell is she doing in this art?
She's building a ship in a bottle. She's trying to build her ship, dude. Come on.
Ahoy, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was
ahoy.
like, I thought it was like chopsticks or something at first.
Okay, you don't know the song?
Ahoy.
Okay, pay 1, clock. Yeah, this is like the second best clock plus in the set, which is saying something because this card's not that good.
Yeah, it seems very okay to me.
Maureen's cards are pretty scuffed. This profile would normally go to memory. It does not in this set because I guess they're afraid of that shit these days. But it's fine. It's the same. It's the same thing as the runner or the Ricky that DC would play, but like you have the Aqua, so I don't think you'd play this over the Aqua ever, just because you don't have a deck speed problem. Maybe if Hololive had a deck speed problem, this would get played over the Aqua one, but this is just straight worse than the Aqua, I think, by like a little bit. All biases aside. As much as I want to give,
This is like a little bit more selective though, at least.
Yeah,
slightly.
The Aqua's an oversized though.
Yeah, the Aqua's an oversized. This is just a more traditional clock plus, where it's small and it dies and it pluses you.
True.
It does mill a lot, but like again, Hololive is you got Chiuri, you got Azusa, you got the Gamers package, you got 5-card Brainstorms. You're not really lacking for deck speed. So, all right, moving on. This Maureen 1/0. If you have 2 or more other Hololive characters, gains 2k power. Ability activates once per turn. When this becomes reversed, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 2 or higher, you rest this. This is literally the same card, word for word, as the Lizbeth, right? Or the Lizbeth might be 500 per other character, but like,
Yeah, this is 6k always if you have 2 or more.
yeah, so it's
other
better.
on board. It's not horrible.
Better Lizbeth coin flip. These cards are okay, but they need very specific shells to function in, and I don't think Hololive is that shell. You need like a very Gara-esque kind of build where like you really do generate advantage off getting that coin flip extra attack, as opposed to it being just like kind of a thing that you're doing, as opposed to something that like builds toward a purpose. I don't think this builds towards any sort of purpose in Hololive.
I thought the value in the Gara deck was that you had the top check like mid attack stat.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you don't really get any value off that in Hololive because you don't have like the bevy of different effects.
You don't have like the Zek and Yuki to like immediately.
No, the Zekken, the like go to stock. You have a bunch of other things going on in that deck. Profile's still fine though, but it's just not anything great in Hololive. Moving on, Tanner.
All right. 1/0 flare combo. For each of the other characters, this gets 500 power, so it's 6k cross turn. And when it attacks, if you have the choice climax, look at the top card of your library and take either a Gen 3 event or a Hololive character from that, put it in your hand or waiting room. If you do, perform the trigger check twice during the attack. So twin drive, 6k cross turn with no other pump, 7k on attack.
It's a top check ad that you can't, like, if you whiff, you mill it, and it has twin drive. And it's a 6k off choice. This is the exact same combo as the one in South 10th. The Kirito and Alice combo. You have
it?
Yes. If you have the right shell, this kind of combo can be pretty good. I don't know if that shell exists in Hololive, but this combo's pretty decent as it stands.
I mean, Hololive has enough cards they can probably do something with it. This is a decent enough run.
I thought the Sal one did something else, and that's why it was good.
No.
I
That's
thought it
the
was a better
pants
effect than
combo.
this.
That's
It's
the
a
pants
different-
combo. The
yeah,
choice
it's a
combo is a
different
different combo. This is like exactly the same as a different South 10th combo, not the one you're thinking of. You're thinking of the Kirito.
The
Okay.
blue Kirito one, yeah.
Yeah, this is still pretty good though. This also has like banger art. Like holy shit, both the climax and the card itself are fucking gorgeous.
hmm
Big fan.
I think combo's pretty
Yeah.
solidly playable.
Combo's great. If you need selection though, it's not it. But if you don't care, it's a really good combo.
It's off a choice too. Good way to jam a choice trigger in your deck.
One of the only ways to get twin drive in this set, it's this and there's a level 1 Coco that have it, which is like just an auxiliary level 1 card. Those are like the only 2 twin drivers in the set. So if you want twin drive, this is one of the only ways to get it.
At least the set has it.
Yep.
Maybe pair well with like a standby or something, right?
Maybe.
This at level 1 into like a standby.
Good. Yeah. Choice and standby have natural synergy. So. Alright, next. Okay, Andy.
All right, we got this cheeky looking flare, level 2 or higher. This gets the effect. Pay to rest one of your level 0 Noels, and this card, choose the Ruchia in your hand and put it on any slot of your stage, and it is a level assist.
Summons the Ruchia.
What the hell's the Ruchia do? I have to know.
Well, we'll get to it. It probably deserves its own discussion when we get to it.
Like the last card we talk about in the TD.
Yeah. It's
Well, keep
it's-
the tension building.
it's like a whole thing. But I mean, this is just a level assist that early plays, so
And so is this? And what's the Noel that this works off of?
draw
The
Brainstorm.
Brainstormer.
Yeah, draw Brainstorm.
All right. So is the level assist and draw Brainstorm worth playing or not?
I mean, if you're gonna play the Ruchia, you have to play them. So
Is that the only way to cheat it in early?
yes,
Without
no other
standby,
way.
yeah.
you'd have to play standby. Would
And this is the Ruchia combo that apparently everyone is
Yes.
playing, right?
This is the Ruchia combo.
I mean, this better be a damn good fucking card.
card slaps. All right, next. Back to you. Wait, who is this?
It's Brian.
Brian. Yeah,
This
I
is
got it.
All right, we've got this level 3 Marin. When this card is placed from your hand to the stage or via the effect of your Ruchia level 3 combo, you can heal. And when this card attacks, you can pay 1, ditch 1. If you do, choose up to 3 of your Hololive characters, and those characters each gain 500 power and a soul for the turn. So global power pump, and it heals if it comes into play from hand or by the effect of the Ruchia.
Better than global. This is strictly buffed commanding strength. This is power crept awesomeness commanding strength. Because you don't have to buff anything that you don't want to. Commanding strength is global, 500 power and a soul. This is selective. You only buff what you want to. It is strictly better than that card. If you
She's
have,
a real captain, that's why.
yes, if you have 2 or more copies of this in your grave when you play the Ruchia, say you have 3 Rushias in the front row. Rushio can summon this card to the field. You can heal 3 times as long as you have 2 Marines in grave. Because you summon one, summon the other one over this one, the other one goes to grave, summon the other one back.
Oh.
Heal 3 times. Pretty good synergy with the Rushia effect. Because she can also shuffle back cards. So like you soul pump and you just blow out your opponent. If they do something stupid, like leave you a small deck with no climaxes. But as it stands on its own, cards just, yeah, it's Brian's right. It's like a C+. Commanding Strength is like a tech card.
Mm-hmm. If you need it, you need it. If you're playing Rushia, maybe you throw it in because it's a healer that is also.
Oh, you end up playing like 3 of it in Rushia. Just to facilitate possible heal loops. Alright. Moving on. We got this Pecora. On attack, choose one of your other Hololive characters. Cannot choose itself. That character gets 2k power. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay 1. This card can run to back row. This is the exact same text as the Billion Live Runner, which was always considered a good card. This card's also pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe in the B- ish range, I believe.
It has really good synergy with Clean Cut.
Yeah.
Which the set also has, the Coco Clean Cut. So, like, if you're really leaning into Clean Cut, this is like your additional field plus. Card's pretty good. Alright. Next. Tanner.
Alright. 0, Noel. This is the trial deck Brainstorm. We've had quite a few of these already, so you know what it does. It pairs with the Flare and the Rushia. 5-card draw Brainstorm. You play the combo, you play this card, especially in this, because this is how you early play it.
Yep.
So I think this is slightly better than the other ones because of that.
They're all about the same to me. These combos are better than the other ones, which makes this one slightly better, I guess.
Yeah, the flare is already sitting at 6k too, so the extra power is somewhat relevant here.
You would still choose not to. You would still play the. Why wouldn't you play this combo over the Corone combo we talked about from Gamers?
Why would you play the Corone over this?
Yeah, because you mentioned before that a lot of the Japanese decks
so
come out so far have been playing the.
Well, you saw the Flare. You saw this Brainstorm. You gotta have both of these pieces and the Rushia in hand by level 2. So the less selection you have, the harder that is. Corona is the most selective, so that's why she's seeing the most play. It's that simple.
Flare is literally the least selective.
Yeah,
I suppose, but it has inherent synergy with the
Yes.
this Brainstorm that you're already forced to run, though.
I also thought that might be great. So I tried it, and the deck immediately imploded upon itself. Unless I was sacking, and just drew all the cards I needed without any selecting. Because you need to select for specific cards, the less selection you have, the harder it is. So the natural synergy of the extra 1,000 power doesn't really mean a lot when you can't even select for a backup anyway. So, like, doesn't really matter.
Okay.
That's just kind of how it ends up being. It's just because you got to put so many cards together so fast. All right.
Felt like a good point to bring up.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, like, it seems attractive, but it was worth testing, but didn't end up panning out. Who's this?
I think we're back to me on this one.
Yeah.
This is Noel. When you play it, if you have 2 or more other Hololive characters, you can draw a discard. You'll love to see it. On attack, look at 2 cards from top of your deck, choose one of them, put it on top, the rest go to waiting room. You love to see it. Yeah, it's pretty solid card. Draw Ditch is pretty rare to see on cards. And especially if you combine that with the man, I really like this actually. You combine that with the Corone from Gamers, the look at top 2 rearrange runner. you can just have your pick of the litter there. You can just have whatever you want off the top of your deck whenever you want for free. Or what was that other card that lets you just look at the top card of your deck whenever you play a character? I think that was also a gamer's card.
That was the Mio, the Amagi, that takes the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be pretty slapping in the gamer's deck where you're like constantly looking at the top card of your deck. And then the second effect to just filter your attack is really nice. I think this is a solid card.
I think it's just okay.
I agree. I think it's all right. I like the draw ditch a lot. The choose your trigger is reasonable. I feel like it might not do enough though. I think I'd rather run something like a more selective filter, like a drop search or a drop salvage in this slot.
I don't want to get on my soapbox about it. I think playing too hard into like your top of deck scry stuff is like a deep dark hole.
You're not a real gamer. You lied last video. You're not a real gamer.
It's a deep dark hole you'll never escape from. I don't think it has much value. I think you can very easily pigeonhole yourself in it. I think this is one of those cards. Probably better cards you could play. But as it stands, it's probably fine.
You told me you were a real gamer, a real Fortnite gamer. We chug together.
No, we're not chug-jugging anymore.
It's all a lie. It's all a lie.
I play PUBG, not Fortnite.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this does have good art. Whose card is this?
This is mine.
Go ahead.
0 Rustia. A frontal 500 assist, and when you play a climax, choose one of your characters that gets 1,000 power. It's Russia's Married Life.
Married Life. Oh my god, they're playable.
We're still printing these.
You don't need them anymore. You don't need it.
Maybe if you're in 8 pants and you really need to pump some power, but even then, I think it's
this D plus seems pretty fitting at this point.
Yeah, they just don't do anything anymore.
It's not bad, but
No.
you know,
Yeah, you just don't do anything. Yeah, they're not needed.
This doesn't do enough.
Another Rusia on play if you have another Hololive character against 2K. It's 4/5F.
Yeah, for the turn only. I hate it.
bad. Yeah.
Tanner.
All right. 1/1 Pecco backup. When you use the backup, if all of your characters are Hololive, so when you play this, you can put the top card of your stock, so it refunds itself, and it's a 2K backup.
Play choice is strictly better than a 2K.
It's got a soul trigger.
Yeah, it's just strictly better than a 2K counter if you're playing choice.
Mm.
Choice only.
See for choice.
Yeah, like.
I guess you don't even need to be playing choice necessarily either, right? You could just.
You could.
If you just wanted an extra soul trigger in your deck, it still is free to play.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, if you want the soul trigger and you don't mind the blind stock, it doesn't matter. Alright, next one's vanilla. I'm not going to talk about that. We'll go to the next one. Back to Andy.
Alright, cool. We got this Pecora. When you play this from hand to field, choose one of your Hololive characters. It can be herself, can be anyone. Give it 15 hundo. And on attack, this gets 1,000 power times the number of your other Hololive characters. If it didn't have that first effect, I'd immediately just be slamming the F, but being able to split the power up on this seems maybe a little bit handy. You can either give it a little bit extra to get over your opponent's early play, get up to 12k. Or if 10-5's enough, you can just pump one of your other lanes and maybe get the dub there. So
It is better than absolute garbage by a
Yeah.
little bit.
Probably don't play it still.
I don't think it does enough. I think I'd rather play one of the many level zeros in the set that pump power as opposed to paying a stock for this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
pretty unfortunate. All right, D
All right,
Rusia.
Let's
Brian.
talk about the card. Yeah. The level 3 Rusia combo. If you have 2 or more other Hololive characters, this card has an additional 1500 power and Hololive Hand Character Encore. Then, when Together Always, the pants is placed to your climax zone, if this is in your front row and you have another Hololive character, choose up to 1 Hololive character in your waiting room and either return it to your hand or put it into any slot on your stage. If you returned it to your hand, choose up to 4 cards in your opponent's waiting room and shuffle them back into their deck, and your opponent shuffles their deck. If you placed it on the stage, that character gains 2500 power until the end of your opponent's next turn.
This card slaps.
You just summon stuff. You slam the door and you summon, or you slam the pants and you summon stuff.
Comes down at level 2. Okay, and without the climax, with the board that you need to summon it, card's a 13k. All right, so that's the floor, right? The floor is its 13k hand encore. If you have any of the other cards down or whatever, if you like summon another Rushia, the pretty common play pattern is like your first turn, if you're at low clock at level 2, you just pull another Rushia out because it can summon any Hololive character. So you pull out another Rushia, and then you have 2 Rushias. One's a 15-5, one's a 13k. They both have hand encore. So like the only way for your opponent to get rid of them is to Adachi them, and then you left open lanes. So like already feels bad. And then if they decide to shuffle, or if your opponent left a bad deck state, you're shuffling back 4. They have 2 Rushias, that's 8. They have 3 Rushias, that's 12. Plays really well into the Hachima tap counter that we looked at earlier that requires you to ditch 4 hand plus play the backup, so 5 hand total. The fact that this card pluses you while shuffling card back, so it's offensive and defensive at the same time if you play it with the tap counter. And of course, you can multi-summon the Marine that we saw because it heals when it's summoned up this effect. If you have multiple Rushias down, for every Rushia you have, you can get an additional heal as long as you have 2 or more Marines in your grave when you go for that, because you can summon a Marine, summon over a Marine, and loop it that way. Heal up to 3. So it's,
how are you healing up to 3?
So if you have 2 Marines in your grave, 1 Rushia summons a Marine to your back row slot. You then summon the second Marine over that Marine, and then summon the Marine that just went to grave back over that other Marine. And then
how are you summoning the other? You mean if you triple Rushia?
If you triple Rushia, yes.
Okay.
You can heal up to 3 if you have 2 or more Marines in your grave.
Yeah, but then you're not getting any of the. You're not like shuffling back.
Well, you're not
plussing to hand or anything. You're just.
But then you're shuffling. But then you're healing 3, and you have a fat board of.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, a lot of early plays will just heal inherently.
They will,
Seems
but
like a little bit underwhelming.
They won't be as big as this card, or be as modular as this card. I think that's where this card excels, right? Is that it's very modular, so you don't.
I feel like we're on the cusp of an argument here.
So, this card is very modular. You can punish your opponent. You can decompress your opponent, right? I like
that.
Whether that's a blowout, you decompress your opponent while plussing you. So you decompress your opponent while filling your hand to support tap counter, right? So that's that line. The other line is that you do repeated heals with Marine if you need to stabilize, which doesn't really plus your hand, but does stabilize the game state. And then the third play is that you can summon any of these other cards with on-attack effects. So you could summon the Subaru that burns 2. You could summon the Choco that burns 1. You could summon the Hachima that like could burn up to 3, right? Like you could summon any Hololive character from your waiting room. It's not limited to anything. So you have like a very modular game plan after this card hits the board if you have 2 or more down at any given point. So for every Rushia,
how do you get this down again? What was the
You have the Brainstorm and the level support down, and then you pay 2 and tap them both. And then this card hits the board.
You pay 2 and tap them both?
Yes. So to get 2 down, yeah, which is why I said if you are at low clock what you typically do is summon a second Rushia. And then go again the next turn. Because you pretty much do this combo every single turn after it hits the board. It's pretty easy in Hololive to loop combo. You have Climax Swap, you have Climax Salvagers, you have Draw Brainstorms. Any Climax you draw just becomes the right Climax.
Didn't we talk about this in Gen... It had to have been Gen 2, right? Where there was like some other early play combo you could go for, but it just like wasn't good enough?
The Subaru combo was bad, yeah.
Yeah.
This is much better.
It seems like a little bit better. I'm like really not...
Okay,
I'm not whelmed. I'm not whelmed.
Oh, I said the same thing, Andy. I saw a Japanese list playing this, and I thought they were all idiots. And then I sleeved it up and played it, and I was like, this is actually fucking stupid. It's really, really good. It's how modular the card is, right? It's about the choices. Like, the more reactive and modular your cards are in Weiss, the better they are.
Reactivity and modularity are good. I agree, and I do like the. I really like the shuffle four back.
Okay,
and
so
salvage to hand, and having that both offense and defense at the same time.
So okay, think about it this way.
But it's like so resource intense.
It's not.
You can't like multi-field this immediately.
You can get 2 out on your first turn.
Yeah, but come on. You're like, you have to play over your back rows and then go again.
No. I'm talking about you play one and then you summon another one off the first effect.
Oh, yeah, with the effect, but to get like double combo.
Oh, no, you don't do that. It doesn't matter. The card's high enough impact that it doesn't matter. So imagine sitting across from this card, right? Your opponent hits level 2. They're 2-1, right? This is a pretty normal case for the deck. I'm going to lay it out here, right?
Okay.
Your opponent hits 2-1. They summon one of these. They summon another Rushia that they have either choiced away or like they put in their level 1 clock or whatever. So they have another Rushia. They summon the other Rushia. They have a 15-5 and a 13k on board. They both have hand encore. All right? Unless you have an Adachi to play, you can't get rid of them.
They have a 13-5 and a... Where are you getting
a
these numbers?
13k and a 15-5. Because the other Rushia was summoned from grave, so it gets that 2500 power cross turn. That last line. You see the last line on the effect?
Okay, yeah. You're doing the second effect on it.
So the center lane is 15-5. The side lane's 13. Both these cards have hand encore. So you're already de-incentivized from extending to clear them. Right? Unless you have an Adachi, you can't get rid of them. So your opponent has these cards down. You swing out. You like maybe play an early play. You clear their other lane. God forbid they also played an IMA on that turn, which is also something that happens usually on their first level 2 turn. They like have a Rushia, and an IMA, and the IMA is like a 1500 global, right? So then they're like 17 and 14-5. That was also a pretty common board.
I'm just like trying to like figure out the resources you need on this, because does this summon come from hand?
You need
like
3
for the initial Rushia?
You need 3 stock and 1 hand and the climax. It's not very intensive. And then every other turn that these cards are down on the board, your opponent just constantly +1s where they add like tap counter and tap counter fuel to their hand, or cards that help them loop climax, like the Watame that salvages a climax on play, the Watame climax salvage or climax swapper, other cards that dig. Like they add ways to loop back while they decompress you over and over again. And then if you ever stick a damage lead on them and they look like they're in a bad situation, they heal loop with Marine and then tell you to go again. Right? It's like it's like a sense of futility, right? Like imagine facing that down.
I don't know.
Right?
The heal loop with Marine doesn't really sound good to me at all, though. Because if you're going like to play those in the back row, then you're playing over your assists and everything. You're getting no value off.
You don't have to.
You're not plussing.
You
can
would play it over the Brainstorm. You keep your level assist, or you play over the level assist. It doesn't matter. You're only losing 1,000 power or 1,500 power. They're still big.
Or you can summon it to the front row again if you can pull another Rushia back out the following turn. You don't really care at that point.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's just like I don't know. I'm just like it's.
So you're telling
beating
me
like card advantage, card advantage, card advantage, and I hate like playing over something.
So you're saying that healing 3 for the cost of slamming a climax is bad?
I mean, if you're already in a commanding board state, no, of course not. Like, I don't want to give the wrong idea. Like, yeah, when that plays good, it's good.
Well, yeah, it's about the modularity of the card, right?
For free, yeah.
Imagine you play down your board and you're like, okay, this is my board. If you ever try to hit over it, I save it anyway, and then I swing back at bigger power than you, and I decompress you, and if you deal damage to me, I start healing it off. Because you can mix these effects up, right? What if your opponent only needs to heal 1? They heal 1, then they salvage 2 after 3 Rishias are down, and then they only decompress you 8. Oh no. It's the fact that this card is a +1 plus a decompress 4. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to sell it, but it really is a card you either have to sit across from or play yourself to understand.
No, I mean, you're doing a good job of selling it.
I'm trying. It is hard because I had a hard time wrapping my head around on how good this card would be too. When I first saw people playing it, I was like, "What the fuck? Like, why are they playing this card? Like, why is it so good?" I had a really hard time wrapping my head around it until I
guess
played it.
My understanding after that explanation here is that the first one does not seem like it would be that impactful. Like the first turn you go for this, it seems like it'd be kind of whatever. But when it comes, because they have the hand encore on them, that's I guess what makes it. Because even if you get over it, you can't clear it because of the encore, and then they follow up with another combo, and then they have 2 Rushias firing off, and then it gets crazy.
Yeah, it like snowballs out of control after the Rishias hit the board.
Like the first. Am I wrong in assuming that the first one is kind of unimpressive? The
first one is unimpressive unless you field it alongside an IMA. So, say you have 5 stock, right? Going into your level 2, you play the flare, you tap your back row, you summon a Rishia, and then you play an IMA from your hand. You nuke out your opponent's board, and then you play a 15-5 and a 13, and then they're buffed by 15 from the IMA. So you have a board of 6k, 17, 14-5 cross turn after you level down your opponent too. So you have supplemental plays.
Wait, with one Ayame, you're getting to 16 and 17k?
17 in the center, 14-5 on the wing with the Rishias, and they have hand encore.
10-5, 11, or 10-5, 12, 13-5 with the...
No, they're 13. They're 13 without the IMA, and then the IMA is a global 15. And then the center one is +2-5. So 17 in the center, 14-5 on the wing.
Because you have the level assist and the Brainstormer, which that's 20.
The Brainstorm's a global 1,000, and the level assist is a level assist.
Meaning you're guaranteed to have 2 or more, so that's the extra 15.
Okay, yeah.
So you have ways to make that first turn more impactful. Okay.
But
I agree, as it stands, just Rushia by herself on the first turn is not impressive. It does clear board, like against standby, which is nice, but it doesn't do much else. It's the subsequent turns that are really destructive.
What happens when... I don't know how many games you've played with the deck yet, or like how much reps you have with it, or
about 20
anecdotal
or so.
Experience you've heard from the Japanese players who've been playing this. But like when you're chilling, right? When you get this down at like early level 2, and then they swing back at you, you encore your Rushias or you win board or whatever, and you're able to like cancel damage and be in a pretty good spot, and you're chilling now at like mid-level 2 maybe, and can then execute like the Marine heal loop to heal down, or just like really like try to bust your opponent up with the double Ruchia, shuffle a bunch of cards back. Like when you're chilling, and it's great. But since the first turn is somewhat unimpactful of the combo, what happens when you're behind? Like, either...
When you're behind, you have a bad time. You're forced to summon a Marine on the first turn, and it feels pretty bad, and then you're behind a turn. You can, like, come back when you do those kinds of games, because you can always hard play a Ruchia from your hand again on the following turn, because even if you're still at level 2, you just rest your back row again and play another one from your hand, right? Like, there's no condition. You don't get locked out of it.
Yeah, like, you can play another one, but I guess it's like...
Those games do happen, but
it seemed like when you snowball, it seems like, yeah, the ball gets rolling and you're snowballing and you're chilling, but when...
Yeah, you can't... You're right. You get
shot to level 3 or something.
You can get shot up, but I think that any deck can get shot up and have, like, unfortunate deck ordering, regardless of compression, so I don't know if that's, like, a valid case, if you know what I mean. Like, that can happen to any deck.
Okay, well, maybe the valid case comes in point where... How is this truly that remarkable? Comparing it to something like... I don't know, you're the healing expert around these parts, not me, but... The only real healy spammy deck I've played personally is like the Madoka heal loop deck. How does something like this compare to the
It's
Madoka
not as
heal loop?
healy. It's not as healy as it is like just sort of reacting to the current game state. You heal when it's the right choice to heal. But more often than not, you're like going to grab the perfect card, playing into tap counter, decompressing your opponent. It's putting on more pressure than it is healing. But healing is an option. Again, it's modular, right?
Yeah, because I guess the reason I bring up Madoka there, right, is because that's another one of those decks where if you're chilling and you're in that deck state, and you're in that like level 2 deck state, and
you just
can
ride
tap
it
and get another turn, you just heal down and you go nuts.
You just
But if
ride
you get
it
shot
forever,
up,
yeah.
If you get shot up, that can be curtains.
It's like any level 2 game plan deck. I think that can happen to any level 2 game plan deck. So
The thing with this is if your opponent's ever out and they leave you any deck whatsoever, they just instantly die.
Yeah, I think that the fact that it's 4, right? Because, like, my opponents would be like, okay, I'm not that compressed, but I'm not that decompressed either. This is, like, usually a good thing, but I think the fact that it's 4 means that your opponent literally can't leave you a grave. Like, 4 cards for no cost on Shuffleback and you plus is, like, absurd.
That's solid, yeah.
Yeah, you're really putting on a lot of pressure there. And your card's really big. So, like, I don't know. It's a lot together. I think we can just move to rate it. I think the card's pretty good.
I do have, like, one other question, though.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit me with it.
Like, and this is kind of rehashing the question I just asked, is, like, how truly remarkable is this? Like, comparing it to something like Madoka, comparing it to all these other heal, or not necessarily healing, but, like, extending the level 2 game plan and, like, trying to get into that deck state. Like, and it sounds like this is the best Hololive deck at the moment that the meta is kind of, like, on. At least at the moment. It's still a new set.
For now, yeah.
But, like, how good is this? Is it really, like,
it is
overpowered?
It's not OP. I think it is unique and modular, and that's where the strength comes from. It's something that no other deck is doing right now. So that's a feather in its cap. And I think it'll be good enough to be, like, still be that unique in English. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna have its niche. Where, like, people are gonna play this. Because it is a unique, powerful strategy. That has, like, modularity to it. It lets you adapt to what's going on in the game. But, you know, outside of that, is it, like, super, super crazy? No. Is it really good in context of Hololive? Yeah, I think so. I would rather be playing this than other Hololive decks, which is crazy for me to say that I'd rather be playing a trial deck Brainstorm and all this other GIMP stuff to play this combo, because like this is something that's actually unique about Hololive as opposed to different Assault Lily deck, which is like bar choice, or like anything that ends in Aqua, which is just, you know, scuffed Mushoku. Like, you know, it's like, why would I play like a similar version of something I already own or something that already exists when I can play something unique? And I think that'll draw a lot of people to this combo because it's unique and modular and strong.
I mean, you definitely sold me on it. I was definitely gonna like slap this with like a really shit score at first.
You really have to play it or play into it. Like that's all I can say is like, because I was also a doubter. Because I'm always a doubter and I'm always a doomer. But you really do have to play with the card and just sleeve up these decks and play with it. And thankfully, like, these decks are so goddamn cheap because they play so many trial deck cards. It's not too hard to go out there and try it, or just try it on Weiss Fight or something. Even just fishbowling it, you can see how strong it is. It really takes like experience to, like, you know, quote unquote red pill yourself on it. Is you got to either play against it or play it yourself. But yeah, we can move on. We got a motor. A lot of time here. Spend on Rushia, but it's probably worth it. Alright, 2-1. Generation 3 event. Its magical girl appears. It doesn't go to memory. It goes to waiting room. Salvage 2, ditch 1. Card's good. It is another totally fine event.
Yeah, if you need to sculpt, it's all right. I don't know if there's anything that bonds to it, but it's...
The flare can add it off
right.
Off the top. So, alright. Next, Tanner.
Alright, into the booster. 1-0 Pecco combo. If you have 2 or more other Hololive characters, this gets 1k power. And if you have the Pants combo and 2 or more other characters, and either no characters opposite to this one or the character across from it is reversed, look it up to 4. Choose one, show it to your opponent, put it in hand, put the rest in waiting room, choose one of your characters until the next turn. It gets 1k cross turn.
This is just Toka. Is this Toka?
Sort of. It's at the end of its attack instead of encore phase.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as big, but it is pretty similar. It's also a pants instead of book. This is the best, like, generally good combo, I think. Like, just, you know, like, just general
does a
sort of
everything,
non-interactive.
yeah.
Does, like, it can hold board. Like, it can mill cards. It can, you know, gets that power cross turn. Pretty simple and good combo.
Mm-hmm.
I played this a decent bit. I was playing 6 plants 2 choice before I played like 8 plants with the Rushia, but I was playing this combo in both decks, so I have a decent bit of experience on this card. This card pairs really well with like that experience Choco for getting your first reverse.
Mm-hmm.
That card's a pretty big role player when you're playing this combo. And you're able to like win pretty much every lane, even against standby. It's like not a big deal because you like can snowball pretty hard. Or like you snipe your first lane and then you make your other lane even bigger. You can swing it like 8-5, 9-5. It's like not hard. And then you're tanking up on your opponent's turn as well. So it's like a combo that pluses 1, and then like you go for a +2 kind of by like buffing your board up to 6-5 is the idea. Pretty solid.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah, I think it is a B+.
I was excited for a second there. I thought it was Toka, but you can't do this from the back row.
No, it's not that good. It's got to attack. Never again.
Probably my favorite climax art in the set too.
Yeah, it's
That
really
is
good.
hella adorable.
All right, back to Andy.
All right, you got this Pecora. If all your characters are Hololive, this gets 1500 power, and during battles involving this, your opponent cannot back up. And it heals on play. I feel like I'd rather just play one of the off finishers that heals instead of this. But if you really want to deny your opponent's money counters or, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
here's your girl.
It's literally the Silica. What's also funny is they're in the exact same pose as the Silica.
Oh, I
with
did
their
see
arm
that.
up.
Somebody
Yeah.
made a meme of that, yeah.
Yeah. It's a totally playable card. Good for standby and grindy decks. Anti-backup is good. 11k is also good. Heal is good in those kinds of decks. Don't know if that kind of deck exists in Hololive, but if it ever does, they have the card.
The card's here for it, yeah. All right, 2/2 Pecora. 6k power. For each of your other Hololive characters gets 1,000 power. Consider 10k has hand on core. That's a pretty vanilla standby target.
Yeah, it's just a standby card.
See first standby.
Yep, literally doesn't get played outside of standby. In standby decks, it's fine. Awkward color for standby is unfortunate. Alright, Pecora. All of your other Hololive characters get 500 power constant. In this placement in the stage, you choose a Hololive character in your waiting room, put it underneath this as a marker, and during your turn, when this card that has a marker is placed into the waiting room from your stage, and you have another character on your board, you can put this rested back where it was. So Gen 3 has like a self-sack thing going on. We haven't seen it yet because they don't have that effect in the trial deck at all. But we'll see it going forward. This is a way so that you have like a single card that can be sacked twice. It's really important for the Marine finisher. So it's good in those decks. I'm going to give it a C+ because it only gets played in these Gen 3 decks. But it is like a way to get free value because you can sack it twice.
Yeah, I guess in those decks where you do need to, or they're incentivizing you to sacrifice your other characters for other cards effect, this card would be valuable for that.
Kill your
It's also
friends to do
plussing-
stuff.
War
It's a
crimes.
plussing level 0 also, right?
During
Right?
your turn, it can
During
it
your
can
turn only.
die and save itself, but
You can crash it, yeah, and then it lives.
Oh, I think like if they ran it over,
Yeah.
you'd encore, but
yeah, no, it sits in the background, gets sacked twice. All right,
All right, yeah.
Tanner, broken brainstorm, the most
Yep.
broken brainstorm.
Alright. Rushia Brainstorm. So this has Alarm if it is the top card of your clock, and you have 4 or more other Hololive characters at the beginning of your climax step. Reveal the top card of your library, and if it's level 1 or higher, put it into your stock. And then it is a 4-card search brainstorm.
Remember Hogami Bomb? Or not Hogami Bomb.
Bomb? You mean
Himari Bomb. Himari Bomb.
Yeah,
You remember Himari Alarm?
I do remember Himari Alarm.
How people would run 3 to 4 Himari Alarm just for the stock, and they had no other green. Now,
Yeah, this is a brainstorm, and that's like way more splashable.
yeah, you just
I
play
like
4
this.
brainstorms.
Mhm. Yeah, this card gives you something else to do with your extra brainstorms that end up in your hand at later points in the game. You just clock it and get some extra stock off of it. Seems pretty solid.
The Himari though was like a guaranteed stock, I believe, right?
I think so.
It was, yes. If you had 4 or more characters, yeah. This is a
But
coin
I
flip.
guess the fact that you just get
but-
a run for this, and it's like this is actually free, where at least the Himari was like a somewhat
Deck
of a
slots.
deck building concession.
I think this card's broken, actually. I kind of want to give this an S. It might be
Okay.
broken.
Tank.
Okay, this card isn't seeing any play because no one's playing green. But like, and everyone's playing these TD combos. But there's gonna be a deck that plays this card, and this
Oh,
card's gonna be broken. Like, it's free stock. It's free real estate.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
can
guess-
put this in with the Okayu, the green bar combo.
Yeah,
Easily.
only drawback is it's search.
What colors do you need in the level for a Yame early play?
The 3 that aren't green.
Yeah.
Everything but green.
I get that's like another awkward thing, isn't it? Where
Blue,
You
yellow,
need
and
to
red.
have
Yeah.
certain 2 colors in level, and then you need to specifically be clocking red to play the Ayame. And now you need to have green also if you want to like
Yeah, so you don't play this with the Ayame early play, that's for sure.
makes it well. You can, but it limits like what you can do that turn at the very least. Makes it, splashing it a lot harder.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a really really strong effect, but on a really awkward color.
It do be like that.
Mhm.
The card itself is strong. There's gonna be a deck that abuses this card. I guarantee it. When they stop playing Brucia in every deck, they'll
When you start moving towards just a more good stuff Hololive deck.
yeah, you're gonna see this card a lot more.
I mean, Hololive's got so many cards. I'm sure there's still
There's something out there.
a
Yeah.
couple iterations of or combos.
What about the Sora decks?
Yeah,
Oh wait, no, the
Stuff
Sora
that
decks
you
would rather play
you can
the Gen
splash it
0.
in there.
Yeah, they're playing standby. Alright, next Brucia. Back to Andy.
All right. If you have one or fewer other characters, it's 1,500 more power, so it's 35, the magic number. And when he plays from hand to stage, this gets the following ability: the character opposite of this cannot move to another slot or be sent to memory.
Another
I like this
anti-runner.
one quite a bit better than the other anti-runner.
It's
Maybe.
Marcus the Trapper.
Yeah, I like the. Yeah, it is. I like the not going to memory effect. That's like actually really, really clutch.
This is
Yeah,
a worse power condition, but like better upside, I guess, because it denies the memory.
Yeah,
It doesn't sit. Does the other one sit big?
Yeah, the other one sits 35
the
cross.
Corone does, yeah.
The red one does it.
So this is a bit more meta dependent, I suppose. If you really want to
Yeah.
be denying your opponent's early game memory generation,
Hmm.
Still good though.
but if
Depending on
that's
your
the way
meta.
the format moves, then this is like, fuck. You could, or if the format just turns to being like all runners, then you could
It's good against
Right,
just run
Kaguya.
a bunch of trappers.
You play 12 anti-runners.
Yeah, it'd be really good against Kaguya. Just play a bunch of trappers.
Yeah, lock them down. No K runners, no bomb runners. Alright, Brian.
All right, 1-0 Rushia. You can play this card from your hand without meeting color requirement. When this card is placed from your hand to the stage, you may send one of your other Hololive characters from the stage to the waiting room. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Hololive trait character or the Gen 3 event, add it to your hand. Also, when this card attacks, choose one of your other Hololive characters. That character gains X power. X is equal to 500 times the number of your other Hololive characters. So max on attack, give 2k to something else.
It's 0-2, but it's on play. I don't know how I feel about that. 0-2 was really good because it had a card like Pecora that like saved itself. That card was also your merge target, though. So like you wanted it to chill on stage.
Right.
But it is 0-2 and it is on play. So like I don't know, free plus, I guess.
Is it a plus if you have to kill off one of your things on stage then?
It is if that card comes back, right?
Right, if it's the
Yeah. If it's the Pecora and it comes back, it's a plus. Otherwise, it's because like the 0-2 could sack off a card that was already reversed, right? Like what is it? What cards have that? The 0-2 has it. There's a mob card that has it.
Oh,
The red one.
The red guy, yeah.
Yeah, it's like those cards because they're on attack can sack cards that are already reversed, like cards that have crashed or lost lanes already. This card, because it's on play, can't do that. And I think that actually makes it like dramatically worse.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think this card's actually like pretty shit because it can't sack a character that's already reversed.
Hmm. You
I
have
mean,
to have to remove a character before it's exhausted its use, which is pretty neg.
maybe the first effect or the middle effect isn't so much the redeeming point here, but what if you look at it more as just like a like a Shimakai you can play no color requirement, just like a power
Shimakai.
pump regardless of color requirement, and then maybe you can you know when it's relevant you go for that middle effect.
I
Maybe.
feel there's just enough power pump already.
Yeah,
that
that's
it's
what I was
really
gonna
not
say.
relevant.
There's so much pump in the set. There's like no point.
Because I'm kind of like with you on this one, Carmen, where I'm like, yeah, you can sacrifice off that the Pecora that comes back with the marker, but that's not nearly enough payoff to like be going into this weird sacrifice strategy.
Yeah. It's not enough on its own.
But I don't know. Maybe if there's some more like sacrifice and revival cards, maybe then we'll be cooking.
Maybe. Alright, we got this Rushia 3-2. You may play this card from your hand without meeting color requirement. When this plays from the stage to the waiting room, you may return this to your hand. If you do, choose up to one Hololive character in your waiting room, put it into stock. So when it dies, you return it to hand and stock one? Huh. When this becomes reversed, you have two more other Hololive characters, and the battle opponent of this is level 3 or lower. You may put the top card of your opponent's clock in your waiting room. If you do, put that card in your clock. Okay, so it's like a scuffed Kuro bomb?
From Elia, yeah.
Well, that card's broken because it heals. It pops back to hand, bombs, and heals. This card just bombs and pops back to hand and refunds some stock.
Refunds half. Doesn't have to play green to play it, which is nice.
It's still probably okay.
You know what? Maybe it's like a standby target that can actually generate you a stock. You can actually net stock if you
and it plus
stand by this.
And it goes to hand, yeah.
That's an interesting use case for it. Yeah, it's an interesting card at the very least.
I mean,
otherwise, I don't know why you.
Ilya did the same thing with that card. They would like stand by it outright, and then it would kill something, and then it would pop back to hand.
And then play it again.
Yeah, get played again.
And then you'll like actually net the stock with it. Otherwise, I don't see why you'd ever play this. Like,
it's just a loopable.
It does nothing on play though, and you can't early play it.
It's a loopable attacker.
Can melee us with it.
If you need to clock bomb some big level 3 threat.
Yeah.
Like at level 3.
I mean, yeah.
Or anything.
Something that they have that you don't have an answer
Kills a
to.
2/2 too.
It does. Just kills whatever.
Your level 3 that you have to play at level 3 kills their 2/2 that they're playing at level 1 off of a standby.
I mean, it pops back to hand, dude. It's just a free kill.
Yeah, but when are you gonna? You have to play this at level 3. Are you even like making it to your next turn to play this again?
Maybe.
If you do make it to your next turn, why not play something better to actually kill your opponent with?
Well, why kill your opponent when you can heal and get another turn? That's why these cards are good.
Well, yeah. So what? You're gonna play this at level 3. They're gonna run it over. It comes back to your hand. You're going to spin your wheels.
Oh no! You're gonna crash it. You're gonna crash it.
No.
Kill their card.
You spawn it with the other Rushia, and then
you can, yeah, you can spawn it with the other Rushia.
And net a stock on that.
I mean, I guess, but you could spawn anything with the Rushia. You could spawn something way better than this that actually holds board.
But what if you got to kill something? What if it's got to remove from the board?
Okay, I mean, you could. This is a card.
Okay. What if?
Do you actually play this card, Carmen?
No, but what if you were in a meta where there was a combo that had a cross-turn ability that needed full field to activate, and this card hard removed a card from your opponent's board, regardless of
why wouldn't you just play that dope ass card we looked at earlier that like looks at top 3, puts him back, and bounces something?
Because this card can be summoned off Rushia, gives you hand, and gives you stock.
I like this. Like the only thing I like about this is like the fringe case where you stand by it and then actually net a stock with it and get it back to your hand. Otherwise,
that's exactly the same case as me and Tanner were saying with the Rushia.
Yeah,
the same as standby.
Except you can attack with it that turn and crash it and net your stock.
Yeah, but there's the opportunity cost there though of your getting this instead of another Rushia target.
But what if this is the right Rushia target?
What if there's nothing else in grave that's relevant? Like if
it sounds like you're settling for this.
No, it sounds like
no. What if it's the right card? I just outlined a case where it was the right card.
Yeah, I mean, when the silver bullet hits its mark. Then,
Well, yeah, that's why you
that's
why you run tech cards.
But
the tech card.
Yeah, you don't have to explain to me about a fucking tech card, Carmen. I'm the king of
I
tech cards.
I feel like I do because you don't see the reason why
Andy,
this card could be good.
You talked me into it. It shouldn't be a B minus. It should be a B.
You're about ready to talk me into an F, Tanner.
To
spite you.
This card's actually pretty okay, dude.
Alright.
It's a level 3 that always trades, pops itself back to hand, and gives you a stock back.
Just don't like that you. I would like this a lot better if it early played, and even then, I don't know how much I'd like it. So I still probably wouldn't like it that much. I'm holding firm at this D. You're not talking me up.
You can do whatever you want. Next card.
I'm holding on to that D, dude.
Whose card is this? This is back to Tanner.
Yeah. Okay. This is a Noel that bonds to. No, this is a flare that bonds to the Noel. And the Noel, it has resonate, reveal the Noel, and rest this at the start of your climax phase. If you do, choose one character that turn gets 500 or 1500 power, and when its opponent becomes reversed, put it to stock bomb. Yeah, no. Bonds to the thing that just pumps itself 4K by resonating.
Yeah, these two cards resonate with each other. The Noel gets up to 7,500. I think that's it. It just swings at 75 when
that's
you resonate.
All it does. Yeah.
This card fucking sucks.
Will you give something else stock bomb with this?
Yes.
Which is kind of nice. What does the other half of it do again?
Stock,
I guess that's like
the stock removal. The stock removal is fine. The other card does nothing.
D for stock removal, low for.
But you have to play the other card.
Yeah, if the other card does nothing, then this just isn't good.
The other card just swings at 75 if you resonate this yellow card.
All right, next. Right.
All right, we've got another flare. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can pay 2 if you do bounce one of your opponent's characters. Also, when this card is placed from your hand to the stage, you can pay 1 and discard a card from your hand. If you do, choose a Hololive character in your waiting room, return it to your hand, choose one of your other Hololive characters, and that character gains 1,000 power for the turn. So it is a drop salvage that also has pay 2 bounce on play.
Pretty good card. If you don't need a red fix, this is like your drop salvage of choice.
If you're not playing the Choco and you're in a meta where bounce is relevant, then not too bad.
I think it's roughly equivalent to the Choco there.
Just whatever one you want to play.
Yeah, I had to go back and check my score there, but we'll give it a. I think the Choco's maybe. You guys all gave the Choco like a B plus, maybe even a little bit better.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty pretty more like edge case, right?
I'll bump mine up to a B minus then, based on my previous grade.
Yeah, I think I still like the other one a little bit better.
I think I like
a little bit more useful.
I like the mill. I like the optional mill 3, the ability to fill your waiting room, dig for something before you drop salvage. But if the bounce is necessary, this card's good.
Mm-hmm. Or if you don't need the mill, like being able to just put, like Carmen said before with one of the other cards, like getting 2 fringe effects on one card's nice.
All right, next. We got this flare. During your turn, if all your characters are Hololive, it gains 2k, so it's 12k. When this is placed from hand to the stage, you can pay 1 and sack one of your other characters. If you do, this gets cancel burn 1, and then on play, it inherently has cancel burn 1. So it is a possible cancel burn 1 twice if you pay 1 and sack a character on your board, and it is a 12k. Pretty good off finishing card.
Yeah, card's kind of cool.
It's Arl from Puyo Puyo, but without a climax.
Double cancel burn's nice, but you gotta like sack a character too. I don't know. I guess if you're just going for the kill that turn, you can just sack off your back row.
Yeah,
it just doesn't matter.
Pings are pretty good at really, really pushing for the kill.
But there's so many other good off finishers though. I feel like you'd be hard pressed to run this.
It doesn't do anything on play, so if you
Yeah, it's
really have to
cancel
be
burn.
gunning for the kill when you play this.
That's its inherent effect is cancel burn.
Yeah. Mhm.
It does have a cancel burn that triggers once per turn, though. Oh wait, no,
Oh.
it's the turns played from hand to stage.
Yeah, on the turn you play, it's like a
Word.
Musashi. On the turn you play it, it has cancel burn 1, and then you can give it another one. I think the card's actually pretty good
I think
as
it's
an off
solid, yeah.
finisher. It's very all in, but like cards like this are always all in. Like you got to accept who you are when you play a card
Yeah.
like this.
I mean, the other off finishers are so good though, and like again, like the Subaru and the Choco. Was it a Choco?
Drago just ditch 2 burn 1, yeah.
Yeah, like they're both of those also are off finishers that will heal on play.
We're about to see another off finisher here too.
Oh boy.
Like, yeah, it's like I don't know. You got to have a reason to be playing this one. You're like pushing
Yeah.
Big Soul or something.
mean,
But I don't think it's a bad card.
Yeah, I know Tyler's excited for this card, but you know how he loves reaching for the ceiling.
Yeah, I think this card's pretty good. I mean, Arl is always okay. I just don't know what deck it goes in. Tanner, go ahead.
All right, 1/1 fish. When this becomes reversed, if the level is higher, if the level of the opponent is higher than I can't keep reading fish. I can't read. If the level of the battle opponent is higher than the level of the opponent, put that character in stock. If so, put the bottom card of your opponent's stock to waiting room.
Really nice that Gura got a card.
Akadachi. The Gura card.
What's the lore of this?
I don't know. It's one of their fucking little animated shorts.
Yeah, it's from the same place that Okayu standing in front of the brick wall is, I assume.
Yeah.
All right, on to Noel cards. Andy.
Alrighty, you got this 3/2 Noel. Early plays 2 or less climax in waiting room. On play, gets 4,500 power, and neither you or your opponent can use backups during this card's battle. And when you attack with this, you can pay 1 bottom 3 cards of your opponent's deck to their waiting room if there is a climax among them, and deal 1 damage to your opponent.
It's
I'm
2.
sorry, you have to pay 2.
Me too.
Yeah,
It's Scuffed President, but it's Scuffed
no,
President is still good.
that's not bad at all.
Exactly.
That's not bad at all.
No. I had the same reaction. Like I played the card and I was like, "Huh, this is just worse president." And then like I forget who looked at me and said like, "Isn't bad president still a good card?" And and I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
I was sighing more about like just how invalidating this is to like the flare off finisher we looked at a few cards ago. This is just like this is a fucking early play that wins board against all these standby decks and shit. And then you also have this dope off finisher effect on there.
Card's good.
Card's great.
I'm a fan. Presidents are good.
Is it an A? Is it an A? This early plays.
I don't know if it's an A.
What was President's early play condition? Was it 2 or less?
It was also 2 or less, yeah.
I think it's 2 or less, yeah.
And what was his cost? It was 2 ditch 1?
2 ditch 1 for cross turn clock kick. That is quite a bit better than this.
On attack. It is. Yeah, it is. It is. Still really, really good though.
President's like a meta warping card. This is just like a really good card.
But it's like now there's another deck running a president type card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that you have to watch out for.
Like at least in English, before it's like there was Kaguya is the only deck that had it, and then like Madoka maybe with the Sayaka.
This is a lot more like squeezable in decks than IMA because red is harder to fit. So even decks that aren't playing IMA have answers to standby, which is nice.
That's a good point. Yeah.
All right, moving on.
All right, we've got the 1/0 Noel that does the. Okay, so it ditch bonds to the flare that we looked at before, the one that gives something 1500 power and stock kick. And it also has Resonate with that same flare at the start of your climax step. Resonate the card. If you do, it gets extra 4K power swings in at 7500.
After actually reading both halves, I think F's a bit harsh, but
Yeah,
it's still kind of.
I don't think it's that bad. It's a
I
little
think it's
rough.
pretty
This
bad.
card, it's just a ditch bond that swings big.
It's like you have the fact that both halves ditch bond to each other, kind of nice, I suppose.
You can ditch bond to each other to do nothing and still lose your lane.
This gets big enough that like this will hit over something.
Maybe.
You were applauding, dude. You were applauding a card earlier for being 7500 and fucking off after it gets Ramorous to.
Yeah, but that's a Ramorous card. That's a free plus.
You can Ramorous this too.
No, you could. It'd be a 35.
3,500 power.
Oh yeah, you could Ramorous this actually.
Well, yeah, but if you're holding the flare, then it's 7500. It's just
I mean, is it worth like if all the like because the flare wasn't bad.
The flare's not that bad, no.
Like, is it worth something that like you just get to run a bunch of cards that just are constant ditch outs in any situation for climaxes or anything that gets in your hand? You can always just exchange a card.
Maybe.
No. I think it's
mean,
bad.
You're not
It
getting.
gets worth something, but not a lot. But
You're just not
Yeah,
getting
I mean-
anything out of it.
This is at least 4 deck slots that you're gonna want back.
hey, maybe not 4. Maybe you run like 4 of the flare, 2 of this, or something.
So 6. I'm talking
Tanner's
about the
right.
package is 4.
Yeah,
Even
you're
if
right.
it's-
I've
Yeah,
taught
you're-
you.
okay.
We've taught you well, Tanner. You know.
Listen, it's a D. I'm trying to make a case. All right. I'm like a public
No,
defendant.
I want to go to the next card.
If you can't afford an attorney, you
Bad.
get me.
Please, dear God,
Bad
next card. 2/2 Noel for each of your other Hololive characters in your back rows gets 1500 power, so it could be 10k. And then when this is placed from the hand to the stage, if you have 4 or more other Hololive characters, you can sack a character. And if you do, you blind stock the top 2 of your deck. The 2/2 that could play for 0, where you have to sack a character and blind stock 2. Wow, I hate it. I hate everything
Wow, I
about it.
haven't seen this card since
It's
the original
probably an
Bane
F.
Dream with Bewitching Omelet Orisa.
Wait,
Shoutouts.
what? Why do you know the name of the card? Did Matt read that?
No,
too?
that's one of the cards that I used in my deck when I first started playing.
Bewitching
I remember like, going to
Omelet.
locals with I think that was before Standby even existed. I'm like, wow, this is like pretty good. It's a 2/2 that
Bewitching
refunds
Omelet.
itself.
Bewitching Omelet. Okay. All right. Next.
Alright. 0/0 Noel combo. It is a frontal 500 assist. If you play the climax at the beginning of your encore step, you may ditch the climax or put the climax into grave. If you do, put the top 3 cards of your library into waiting room. Choose one. So it's a cigarettes for 3.
The appeal of this type of combo is that throughout the game, you always kind of have a. You can always just slam your climax and like get a plus off it. You don't need to like get a reverse. You don't need to be in like any sort of like certain level or deck state. You can always just kind of like liquidate a pants climax from your hand.
Card has the same problem that all of these do, is that they can't resolve more than once. Because the
Right.
cost is to sack the climax, which makes them terrible. And I will stand by that until the end of time. And until one of them wins a major tournament,
I think the 1 in 7 Deadly Sins is good, but that's because the card in the back row does something meaningful. 500
The,
power frontal assist isn't good enough.
I can't
Diane.
remember what that one card was, but I'm sure I disagree on the meaningful part.
The Diane, she's like face
Please
down,
don't
ass
remind
up
me.
on the ground,
I don't want to
and
know.
she's
I don't want to know.
giving
Please
taps to
don't
get
remind
1500
me.
power.
Moving
Please don't
on,
remind
next
me.
card.
And it's off of a gold bar, and it's really
Lawrence.
good. And there's a double
Really,
climax combo
really,
in that
I'm-
set, and it's
Stop
really,
talking
really
about
good.
7 Deadly
and
Sins. Maureen is
All
on the
right,
screen.
going into a card with some good art next.
I think we're back to Andy, right?
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got this Marine finisher. When this is played from hand to stage, you can put one of your Hololive characters from stage to waiting room. If you do, look at 3 cards from top of deck, take one of them to your hand, and then choose one of them, put it in your stock, and the other one to the waiting room. So on play, sack a character, look at top 3, 1 to hand, 1 to stock, 1 to waiting room. And then when you attack, if you have Charming Gaze in your climax zone, you can pay 1 and discard a character to deal 2 damage to your opponent and get 2,000 power for the turn. It's that's actually kind of fine, right? Because it's kind of like what I mentioned earlier, where with the flare off finisher, where it's like you're just going for the kill that turn, so just sacrifice your back rows and go for game.
It's like expressive iteration, but you have to sack a character.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally expressive iteration.
But it's pretty
fine.
efficient. It's pretty
yeah,
efficient.
it
in
is
that
efficient.
sense, though.
Yeah, you can go down. I was brewing with this on like Weiss fight before I like got cards in my hand because I wanted to make a Marine deck work because I'm a massive Sentia simp and the combo. The best part about the combo is that it's so lean. You can really like go down on your stock and tap your resources and still like triple, which is pretty cool. It's the best part of the card. You're also on a decent trigger. The like finishing power is like okay enough. It's just nothing remarkable, and the fact that you have to play that Pecora, which is like if you're playing other good cards. I was playing this with the Gamers package. I was playing Bard Door. It felt like that Pecora was just a dead card until my finisher turn. But
Well,
like you
don't necessarily need to play the Pecora though. You could just like, because you have 2 back row slots already that you can just sack off.
Yeah, you can. If you're just going for a
fast.
game and you just don't care and you don't want to save anything, you can just stack off your shit and go. I did do that like a game or two, and it didn't feel too bad. But those were games where I was already ahead and I was like down with stacking off my Brainstorm. But like
It's nice.
combo's fine.
I love that this digs too. That's my favorite thing to see
Yeah,
on the
it digs
finisher. is
3.
top
It's
check
really
3.
nice.
Yeah, your girl lucked out, Carmen. You got a
Yeah,
solid card.
the finisher's really good. I can't say the same for her other cards that we'll look at here. I guess they're not too bad, but they're not great. Brian, go ahead.
Well, here we go. 1/0, 2,500 power Marine. When this card becomes reversed, if the level of this card's battle opponent is 1 or lower, you may reverse that character, so level 1 reverse bomb. And when this card is placed from the stage to the waiting room, you may discard a climax. If you do, salvage a Hololive character.
Only okay with bar pants.
It's like Sakura Bomb, but really bad.
Yeah, it's like a worse version of every like the Cocoa bomb profile. Like the just ditch climax salvage bombs that have existed forever. They were like, let's make one that's worse.
Yeah, it's like
This is on death, not on play.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
death. It's like
that's
let's
the
make
worst
one
part.
that's bad for no reason. Like there's no reason for this card to be bad, but it's bad.
Yep.
Just unfortunate. 2/1 Marine. It's a level 3 or higher assist, and then when you play it, you can pay 1, sack one of your characters, salvage a character. Not the worst level 3 assist. It does give you some late game selection at the cost of your board and even more stock, but I think there are better things you can be doing for selection in any zone. But it does give you some extra utility to a 2K to front assist.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's not the worst thing ever, but it's not a good card.
It's
Yeah,
not great.
it's a little rough. Too bad you
Is that
can't
the theme of the Marine card? She just
All of the
tells people-
Gen 3
she
cards.
just sacks her gen mates like cannon fodder?
She sacks more than any other character in the set, but they
She's a
all
pirate.
sack their friends. Yeah.
She's
The
a
theme.
pirate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The theme
Your
of the
hard
Gen
fiddle
3
TV.
cards was supposed to be kill your friends to do stuff.
War crimes, yeah.
Yeah, war crimes. But It is war crimes. But Maureen's cards literally all of her booster cards do that. Like every single card we've seen are like, no. I guess the bomb doesn't, but like 3 of 4. The last card, Tanner, go ahead.
Alright, finish us out here. When this card attacks, choose one of your Hololive characters. That character gets 1500 power. And put another Hololive character on the stage from your stage into the waiting room at the end of this card's attack. If you do, you can move it to the back row.
So it's a clean cut where you have to sack a character. This card is probably intended to be used with the trial deck Ricky, where that card you can sack it off. So you play this, your Brainstorm, and the Ricky. The Ricky gets sacked off by this card. Your Brainstorm goes to back row. It's not the worst line of play I've ever thought of, but it does require you to put together a lot of specific cards. Because like obviously the Aqua Ricky you want to live because it's an oversize. So you would only want to do it with that specific Maureen Ricky.
Yeah, this would work really nice with the summoner from Gamers. Actually,
it does let you clean cut regardless of power. You do not have to win a lane.
The summoner wants to crash itself to clock bomb the opponent.
So weirdly,
which means it's dying. Then this can like.
Yeah. So like the weird thing about this card is we talked about how the Rushia, like the one that was kind of like a 0/2, was like worse because it couldn't save during battle. I think this Maureen is like weirdly so much better at being like a quote unquote 0/2 than the Rushia that reads more like a 0/2. Because this card can sack a card that's already dead at the end of its attack to save a lane and pull it to the back row. Or it pulls itself to the back row. Never mind.
So you can crash it and then...
Oh, no, this card only saves itself. Never mind. I misread this card. Card's bad.
It's not as good.
Well, I don't think it's bad. No, I don't think it's bad necessarily, but unlike a clean cut, this doesn't actually save itself. This does not rest itself to back row. It just moves itself to back row. So you can't also crash this Marine.
You're right.
Oh, wait, you can't. Oh, this card's hella bad.
Oh. Yeah. It doesn't rest it. It just moves it.
It doesn't rest itself. Oh, shit. This card's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. This card's unplayable. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I can't read. Holy shit.
And I don't think it's that bad still. It's still like a plus level zero that gives 1500 power. It's like... Use it with the summoner.
Oh my god.
Sorry to ruin it for you, Carmen.
Oh, yeah, it's bad. Alright, well that's it for Gen 3. Yeah, we talked a lot about the Rushia. That was to be expected. Yeah, kill your friends, do stuff. Or play Rushia. That's it. We will see you guys in Gen 4.